Welcome to the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. You concerned Tom's River resident there. That's why we do the show. Hell of a storm this weekend. Yeah, I'm in Jersey City, and the kid got the house in Seaside Heights. I'm in both places. Like that's my born and raised town and my adopted town, Seaside Heights. Got like 14 inches of snow in Jersey City. Down in Seaside, got no snow, tremendous amount of rain and wind and ice, but no snow. Little threat from Barnegat Bay, and it's interesting. The flooding that comes up, yeah, it doesn't cross the highway there, 35. It comes up through the sewers. When a bay rises, it comes up through the sewer pipes, out the basins, and boom, you got a lot of flooding as you come off that bridge. Speaking of Seaside Heights, they've canceled the Polar Bear Plunge this year. It's held in February of every year in Seaside Heights. It makes a lot of money for charity. Of course, COVID-19. They had it last year. It's at the beginning of the coronavirus. It might have been a super spreader. And they also had the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which also may have been a super spreader last year. But Mayor Boz and the town council don't want to do any super spreading this year. So they're canceling that. It's going to be a very interesting year. Economically, through the United States, especially the Northeast here with the coronavirus, it's getting tougher now for small business than it probably was 3 or 4 months ago. Good. Also, I want to give the props to Seaside Heights and the power companies down here. Very few people lost electric during the storm, and that can only be related to pressure from the public and rewiring all these poles, electrical poles through the previous storms. And also, Don Guardian, the former BA, who was suing the township of Tom's River, is going to run for assembly in Atlantic County. Tom's River will probably be paying for that campaign. All right, we're going to break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back, Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here, you concerned resident there. As I was saying earlier before, let me get to topic. Topics, we're going to talk about Optimum Broadband. They service the Barrier Islands here in Seaside Heights, La Valette, Ortley Beach, Seaside Park, and parts of Tom's River. They are awful with broadband. We're also going to talk about the #1 state in the nation for property taxes. They actually went up again here in New Jersey. We're going to talk about that. But before I go on to that rants on both topics, if you can, try to buy as much as you can local with the small businesses. Like I said before we closed in the opening there, it is probably tougher now than it was 3 months ago with the COVID. And a lot of places, by the time the PPP came around, they were already hurt. And the new regulations on the PPP, you got to show 25% drop in business from the last time we got PPP. That's difficult for some companies because they already took such a hit from the first time around that if they lost another 25%, they wouldn't be in business. And many of these businesses aren't going to make it. So if you can, buy local. You need a car, go buy a car locally. For that matter, Stevens Ford in Jersey City. Not a bad place to get a car. I can help you there if you need. I can always make a call to my buddy Marty if you want. But anywhere that you can spend money this year locally, try to do it. Vacationing on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights, it's not a bad idea. Doesn't cost a lot of money. They're going to need all they can get. We're losing a lot of the events. You just can't schedule the events because of the problem with the COVID, and we don't have the vaccines. Yeah, again, I come from Jersey City. They actually told Mayor Phillip they're going to send them, I think, 500 doses of the vaccine. Jersey City probably is about 320,000 residents. I think the county of Hudson was going to get 1,500 doses, and they're about probably 700,000 residents there. So we got a vaccine problem. But again, buy local if you can. Let me get into Optimum. Now, I'm on the Optimum network with a lot of our shows on Channel 18 and Channel 19 on broadband, who used to be Cablevision with Optimum. They are also in the communication business. They should not be in the communication business. They service the broadband for the Barrier Islands, like I said, Seaside Park, Seaside Heights, Ortley, La Valette, parts of Toms River, and many other parts of the state. They service between their cable, which work. The cable's fine. The broadband is absolutely awful. Awful. It's hard for me to express how awful. And I'm on a committee in Seaside Heights for the broadband, and we're trying to get Optimum to do a better job. Problem is, Optimum can't. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the technology that Verizon does. And that's where the whole problem starts with Optimum. Let me get my notes here. I'm doing that off the top of my head. I do write these things. Recently, the Township of Howell filed suit after constant complaints with the BPU here in New Jersey over broadband service by Optimum. They are universally terrible. If you're in some city that had bad broadband from Optimum, you're not alone. Everybody does. And Howell is just the latest in the long line of municipalities that have objected to the horrible service from Optimum. And I just don't see them getting any better. Yeah, and the sad thing is, a lot of these towns, such as Howell, have Verizon Fios, but they never built out the entire system in Howell or here in Seaside Heights. Verizon broadband, it's here in Seaside Heights, just not built out. It's on one block. And that's where the problem is. And here in Seaside Heights, it's on one block. It's on Grant Street in Seaside Heights. And Verizon is talking to Mayor Boz and Chris Boz, the BA, and the council about bringing 5G service into Seaside Heights, Verizon 5G service. Now, again, I'm on the committee. I've spoken to Verizon. They keep changing the people who are involved in this 5G. There is no way in hell. Now, you can't stop the 5G service from coming in. The government's going to push that. But you don't have to make it very welcoming either. You can put a lot of rules and regulations in place. You can stall them just with radiation concerns. That happened in Jersey City. Seaside Heights and the Barrier Islands shouldn't make it easy for the 5G service unless Verizon builds out their Fios broadband. And I tell you, the minute Verizon does that, everybody on the Barrier Islands will get Fios. Actually, it's also in Seaside Park. It's amazing how we just kind of cherry-picked where the broadband service from Verizon was going to come in on the Barrier Island. I think it's on 10th Avenue in Seaside Park at the DPW facility. And on Grant Avenue, Casino Pier has it. And one of the recent developments have it here in Seaside Heights. The rest of us have Optimum. And on that dramatic note, I'm going to break for commercial. We'll be right back.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the TeleMed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the TeleMed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. Pat O'Melia here, you concerned resident there, blah, 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 blah. The problem with Optimum, like I said, they don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the technology or the R&D that Verizon had. Verizon was the phone company, and they just graduated up. Optimum was the cable company, and they jumped in to broadband and mobile service now. They also have mobile cell phone. They're never going to catch up with Verizon. I have my issues with Verizon also. When they got a statewide franchise with New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken, they were supposed to build out their systems all through the state of New Jersey. That didn't happen. There was a time, like here in Seaside Heights, Optimum was the only franchise. You had to deal with Optimum, and the municipalities were able to negotiate. Yeah, like in Jersey City, where Comcast. They got Comcast to give studio equipment, studio space to local broadcasters and producers. Then when the state gave the franchise to Verizon, it was no longer Comcast or Optimum the only game in town in various municipalities. Verizon was there. So a lot of negotiating chips were gone. But the idea behind it was to have Verizon, Fios, television, and broadband. Broadband didn't happen. There are parts of Jersey City that don't have broadband. When we moved our studio from Jersey City to North Bergen, one of the enticements was the Fios broadband. Now, here in parts of the state, tens of thousands of people have awful broadband from Optimum. Now, my studio here is dependent on upload speed. Now, you've seen Mike put these upload speeds up. Notice on the bottom, again, upload is what's important to me. And if you got security cameras, they're important to you too. I'm supposed to be getting like 300 millibytes per second download and 50 upload. We've never come close to 50 upload. We have been throttled down so many times to such a level that there's been points where it was less than 1%. Now, we're just throwing some up here that I've been clocking randomly. And how I clock these is I get a notification on my phone that my security camera is offline because they're on the Wi-Fi from Optimum. And it drops so bad that my security cameras are useless. So then I take a quick screen grab of what the numbers are when I do the speed test, and they're awful. And you know, the Optimum, they're professional song and dance people. There should be music. They should have a straw hat and a cane. They can't compete with Verizon. In my North Bergen studio, we have Verizon. We have, I think it's 500 upload speed. Now, I forget what the download speed is. It's like incredible. I pay $165 a month for my broadband and 3 phone lines. In Seaside Heights, for awful, terrible, disappointing service, I pay $211 for, at best, I don't know where the moon has to be for me to get 50 upload. Now, upload, when we're broadcasting on live television performances or shows, whatever we're doing live, we need the upload speed. And we've been knocked off the air because of bad upload here. I don't know what I'd have to do to get to 50. But, you know, the minimum, I think, on our broadcasters here, I think it's 15. We've been pointing, you've seen it there on the screen grabs from my phone, where it was like 0.22, 1.2. We can't operate that way. And no matter what you complain to Optimum, there's just no results. They'll send somebody in. For that matter, if you had a problem, they would send somebody in. It would cost you $75. They're making more money sending people into your house to tell you that it was the best we can do. Now, I've taken every step we can in the studio. I put in my own routers. The BA here in Seaside Heights went out and got like a $800 router because his business is dependent on it. You're trying to maximize the terrible Optimum service. There's chatter going around now about the state getting into the broadband business. I don't know if that's the best thing for us. Optimum is not. Verizon is. We need to get Verizon. What the state should do is make Verizon keep their promise about building out their services. There's no reason the Barrier Islands here should be. We're basically dial-up modems here. That's how horrible the service is. And no matter what Optimum says and what Dan State do and how they twist that cap and stick, they can't do it. We need to get Verizon. The state needs to make sure Verizon keeps their promise to build out their services. Like I said, in Seaside Heights, it's on Grant Avenue, not far from my studio. You know, it's like being a hungry person looking at the windows of a supermarket. It's down the block, and I can't get it here. It's in Seaside Park in one location, but I can't get it here. I'm going to break for commercial. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Most women who give birth recover without problems, but any woman can have complications after the birth of a baby. Learn the post-birth warning signs, such as fever, headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, increased bleeding, or thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else. Knowing these can save your life or the life of someone that you love. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, call and get evaluated by your healthcare provider. If your symptoms get worse or you do not hear back from your physician, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We're back. You're watching the Tom Ribber Show. I'm here. You're there. Remember, on the bottom of the screen, you see all that stuff going around, how to get in touch with us. Twitter, YouTube, live stream, Facebook, all those places, Instagram. If you need help with a consumer issue, something municipality-wise in Tom's River, I can reach out for Mayor Mo Hill and the council people. Pretty good at consumer issues, too. What we all need to do is get behind an effort to get a handle on property taxes in New Jersey. NJ 101.5 just did a story that the average property tax bill in New Jersey is $9,111. It is a lot. It went up 1.8%, an average about $158 a year in 2020. And that's not counting all the backdoor taxes, whatever fees they raised, whatever your registration for your car went up, whatever those things are, anything state-related, they went up. We can't continue to have the property taxes and be the number one in the nation. You don't want to be the number one in the nation with property taxes. So we got to get a handle on this. What it does, it takes state and local effort, and you're going to have to force your elected officials. 10 years ago, they wouldn't think of raising taxes. Now it's not even thought. They have no problem writing checks with your money. And each year gets more and more expensive. Your children, right now, you can't afford to live in Jersey. Your children certainly won't. So somehow we all have to get together and try to combat what's happening with property taxes. And right off the bat, you got to look at the biggest portion of your property taxes, and that's your school. And a school, it's almost like a timeshare, where you have no idea what it's going to cost you. You have no idea what the increases are going to be, what the insurance rates are, whatever interest rates are. It just never stops. And that's the thing here with the school budgets in New Jersey. It constantly goes up, and it just, no one answers for anything. And they always throw it, it's for the children. Well, we're all children, too, at one time in these schools. And it wasn't as ridiculously expensive as it is now, and it's just getting out of hand. Again, I'm from Jersey City. I know Mayor Fulop is going to have a confrontation with the Board of Ed over the ridiculous, that's like $770 million in Jersey City right now. It's more than the actual municipal government. And the taxes just went up 37% last year. Now we're looking at being another $150 million in the hole. So we're looking at more taxes, and we just instituted a payroll tax in Jersey City, and we're still not close. Now, the Board of Education in Jersey City has never made one attempt to cut expenses. They actually raised them. People don't care. They don't mind writing checks with your money. How do you control school taxes? We did this last year on the Tom's River show here. First thing is, do you need 584 school districts in the state of New Jersey? No, of course not. Which is interesting when we only have 565 municipalities in the state of New Jersey. We actually have more school districts than municipalities. And each one of those municipalities, school districts, had those expenses that come with it. Like they all have a superintendent. And all the superintendents have an assistant superintendent, or the deputy superintendent. And they have aides, and the superintendent's deputy has an aide. It just trickles down into your pockets, and then it lifts money out of there. Now, I think last year when we were talking about this with superintendents, it was something like $270 million a year with salary and pensions and benefits with the superintendents and the deputy superintendents and assistant. Do you need all that? Do you need 500 superintendents? Of course not. So these are the things we need to address. We don't need 585 school districts. I know Senator Sweeney was talking about 21 school districts, one school district for each county. Probably makes sense. You've got to look at all the related expenses that you're paying for. Like I said, all the superintendents, all the assistant superintendents, all the deputy superintendents, all the aides to the superintendent and the deputy superintendent. And it just goes on and on. Various school boards, everything you're paying for. There is such an amount of redundancy throughout the state, and you're paying for it. That we need to get a handle on. You know, school budgets, they're just unchecked. And it just continues to go on. School bonding is another backdoor tax. And every one of these schools every year, and they run these elections, the school bond, the election for the school bond, the vote for to approve the school budget or the bonds, and it's like in February, you know? It's never in your normal cycle if you're in May or November. They run it like February 17th and at 6 o'clock when nobody goes outside of the superintendent and the assistants because there's a lot of those. Let me break for commercial. You're watching the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back.
Pan and Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panandpintoproperties.com. Pan and Pinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
We're back. Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. Continuing with the school. When they do the bonding, now they don't pay off the bonds. You got interest on the bonds. We got bonds fees. You pay for all of that. You do. And even if you're not in that municipality, since the state's on the hook, I think for about 40% of the bond, you're paying for it through your state taxes. There has to be some way we can prevent these school districts from just going wild on your money, and it's your money. You know, if you're going to pass a school budget, do it during the election cycle when we get as many people out there as possible, not in February or March. Like when there's a repair or maintenance or an upgrade on the school, it's got to be bonded. It's not again. Never set any money aside. You know, we're going to have to paint the building one of these days, and we should start putting some money aside. No. We'll just bond. The people will pay for it because it's for the children. We can write that check with other people's money. They never set aside any money. Besides the schools, which you'll get a handle on that pretty soon. You think about that before I get into shared services here. 585 school districts, 565 municipalities. Do we need either of them that many? No. Shared services is probably one of the instant ways we can cut the reliance on your money through property taxes. Right, to reduce property taxes. You know, there's constant things that we just farm out. Road work. You know, I've been going on this for the last couple of weeks. There is constant road repairs in Ocean County and in Toms River and all the neighboring towns. Nobody's in the road repair business. Ocean County, RFP, get a contract, millions and $1 million. Let me write that check with your money to whoever we're sending that asphalt contract to. Same thing with Toms River. They're taking bids now for road work and side work cuts. Write that check with your money. We're not even thinking of investing in the equipment and doing our own road work, which is constant. There's between the county and Toms River, I don't know how many miles, probably hundreds of miles of road, maybe thousands of miles of road. And nobody's doing road paving. Just on one of those RFPs alone, you can buy all the equipment that you'll need to do road paving work. And Toms River can do it for the county or the other municipalities and charge them more revenue coming in, the less they're reliant on you. Police budgets. See, I'm going to get into what is redundancy. Police budgets, the largest part of almost any budget. Somehow, we need to spread that expense out. And in Toms River, well, over the bridge you got Berkeley. Can we do work with Berkeley? Now, I'm not knocking any law enforcement on the Barrier Islands, but can we spread Toms River into Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, Otley Beach, Lavalette, and get money from those communities? Now, Seaside Heights farmed out their 9/11 service to the Ocean County Sheriff, and it's working the Ocean County Sheriff, reduce their need on your money out of your pocket because they're getting money from Seaside Heights. Seaside Heights is saving money because they're not doing it themselves anymore. The redundancy that you pay for. Now, let's take look at a few things here. Between Ocean County and Toms River, you pay for both of these. Ocean County has a road department. Toms River has a road division. Both of them are in Toms River. They do the same thing. You're paying for both. And again, they're both in Toms River. You pay for both. Ocean County has a health department on 175 Sunset in Toms River. Toms River has a health department on 33 Washington Street in Toms River. You pay for both. You, that Toms River resident, the redundancy that goes on between Toms River and the County of Ocean is costing you tons of money. But there's salaries, there's directors, there's pensions, there's vacations, there's health care, and you're paying for all that. And the amazing thing is, you know, when you look at the health department, you can go further and further, but I only have a half-hour show. Between the health, just two divisions, the road department, who somebody should get into road work between Toms River and Ocean County and do this themselves, they're both based in Toms River. The same thing with the health departments. They're both based in Toms River. You're paying for both. And also, where they're based, they're not paying property taxes. There's no ratables on. The county's not paying any taxes to Toms River, and of course, Toms River's not paying any taxes to Toms River. You are. And nobody is bringing that up, trying to save you money, except for me. All right, I'm out of the show. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.